Hi everybody, welcome back to Southern Latitudes. I thought now would be a great time to give you a full garden tour now that I would say about 90% of the garden is set and ready, and some things are still germinating. Don't forget I got really delayed because I was still putting in irrigation through September and October, and interruptions and that kind of thing happened, but it's all in. So then I transplanted, then I reseeded. The onions have come in. You've seen little bits here and there of that, but now is the time I really want to show you all of it. Okay, so come on with me. It is November 24th, and this is my Barbados cherry tree. It's about a couple of years old now, at least since I've had it. It's been in the ground since April, and it had a whole nother beautiful flush of flowers, beautiful pink small flowers. It has given me my second cherry, and I've already eaten it. It tastes a lot like a watered down regular cherry, you know, from up north, like a Bing cherry. So at first I thought it was just because we had a lot of rain, but now I realize no, that's just kind of its flavor. So it's still pretty good though, and worth having a tree or two. I may add a second tree later, but this is Barbados cherry. These are my gorgeous dwarf Cavendish bananas, and pretty much I think when we bought the property, I think the man originally had like 3 of them on here, and then of course there's different stages of generation. So like there's one ready to fruit, and then there's like a teen, and then there's usually the pups. Ever since I started the practice of putting the trunks and the leaves in there and recreating its own fertilizer, I believe we've had an abundance of growth and extra pups. So these are my babies, and I get about 2 racks a year, sometimes 3, depending on the year, of bananas. And we've not had a hard freeze, so they look really good. Oh, listen to the acorns are hitting the boat barn. And we've not had a hard freeze, and not really a direct hit of the hurricane this whole summer, so they look pretty good. This is my bleeding heart bush. Now it is several years old. We cut it back all the time. It just kind of hugs the corner of our porch, and it's even recently had a break up there, but it's just absolutely gorgeous. It seems to enjoy winter blooms, and it'll do its blooms here and there otherwise, other times of the year, but when it really shines is in the winter. And the hummingbirds and the butterflies and the bees, everything loves this thing. Just so you know, the bleeding heart bush is a little bit invasive. These are its pups coming up through the boards of the porch, and that is probably a serious 12 feet away from the mother, maybe even 15 feet. So it can do that, so just be aware of that bush. So behind me you'll see my essentially tomato garden. Last year it just rotated it off of a cabbage garden, so it had the cabbage and the squashes, carrots, it had the winter things in it, and so it kind of ended early, and it had a lot of time to rest, and and then we have amended the soil, and so now we've come back really strong this fall. We started our tomatoes early in pots with seeds, and then they came out here, and they have just done excellent. As you can see, they are, as I'm only 5'1", and recently the doctor told me I'm only 5.5 now, so I'm going down faster than a tomato plant with blight. So anyhow, these are well over my height, and they're doing excellent. I have a little bit of basil, different types of basil in here. I have recently started ginger. For the first time. This has been on my bucket list. Look at this, it's already got roots coming through the bottom. So I'm so sorry I lost you guys. All right. Sorry the camera dropped there. Anyhow, so it's already showing roots going right through the bottom. So we're not going to stay in these pots for very long. I'm going to go find a home for them in the big garden. But I will say that I was extremely surprised, because these only took about 10 days at the most to germinate, and they're looking fantastic. Already got a new one in here. I have another one with a couple. This is just Publix ginger, and I took a chance that I couldn't find out if it was even organic or not, so I just tried it. Boom, it looks excellent. So we're going to keep going with this, only we're going to put it in the ground probably this week. We'll take a quick tour. For those that are new to the channel, I have San Marzano tomatoes, and I have a couple little fruits starting to set right in here. You can see right now we're just getting to the perfect temp for setting fruit. I have some Alma paprika peppers in here, very tiny. I have forgotten, and it just came back to memory, that there used to be a stump here, and that's why only really shallow rooted things can grow here, which you'd think tomatoes could, but I think it's even too shallow for that. Just like lettuce probably can go in there. Again, some more basil. This tastes a lot like the Italian basil, although it's not, some other variety. Then my lemon basil. I have, oh, here's my other ginger. I have lots of, I believe that's soap aloe mixed with some St. Augustine grass in there. But I looked it up. There's 5 different types of aloe that I could find, and that's soap aloe. On this side we have what's called is a big beef F1 tomato. Those seeds came from Johnny's, and we lost the squash in the center. Then we have Black Beauty eggplants, and then some more big beef F1s. Oh no, I guess we don't, not on this side. Okay, so that's on the other side, which this would be a jet star then. Let me take you over there. Everything on the left side of the cattle panel is a jet star tomato, and lots of blooms. Everything got fertilized about 4 or 5 days ago, and I just took a tablespoon and we went in to the side of each hole. It all looks excellent. Happy. We got water for like 3 days straight this weekend. Totally unexpected. Over here we have our South Florida hybrid tomato. I have no idea the actual tomato type. Uh-oh. I had a little caterpillar something or other visit the first couple plants over here, and I just think I found most of them, but we'll get out here with a black light tonight. And so that's on both sides. This type of tomatoes on both sides. And here at the very end we have a yellow pear tomato, and it has a couple babies on it. Those are beautiful, and I'm hoping to get a whole lot more. I just haven't found them. In the center, this really tall guy, this is a mortgage lifter, and I'm hoping to get my first mortgage lifter tomatoes ever. And then at the very end we had a little guy down here. It's called a German stripe. It's an heirloom tomato, and it got hit very hard early on with bug pressure, probably tomato hornworm and whatever else. I thought for sure it was gonna die, and then as the cool air kicked in, it kicked back up to life. So I'm very happy about that. I have some Aunt Molly's ground cherries here. I had another one. It's been stunted by bug pressure, and I have what I thought was bell peppers, but obviously I think I have a little bit of a either a corbaci or perhaps a cayenne, but that's probably a corbaci. There is a tag over here. Let's see what the tag says. Oh, it does say corbaci. Yay! Oh my goodness, thank goodness I kept a tag. Now this is a bell pepper. I can see the green tag. I remember those. So that's great. And look, oh, it's not. It isn't. Look, that's a corbaci. So on the right side of this garden, we have Groninger Brussels, and it had a couple stagers of transplanting. A lot of it got bug pressure in the back there, and it's still getting a little bug pressure. It's getting a lot less. I don't know why, but the ones up front just almost never get touched, and of course they're doing fabulous. So we'll take whatever we can get. I probably sowed 20 or something. We'll be lucky if we get 15. And end product, or even 12 if we're lucky. So over here we have the Texas Legend onions, which are a big yellow globe onion. And then we have the Southern Bell Red, which are more of a flat, and they're not as completely circular. They're like a flattened type of onion. Also going to be very large. And then we have 3 winter pineapple. This pineapple bed has been here a good 7 years or more, 8 years. And we had quite a few pineapples. We canned 10 of them, and then this we'll probably just eat fresh, the winter ones. And then in the back corner I have a half alive rosemary. So I've been contemplating if I just need to buy a new baby or cut all the dead off and hope the rest comes back to life in the spring. The big picture now is, what is this doing here? You can see I have multiple outbuildings on the property. Of course, we've got the old chicken coop that was remodeled from a kid's fort, and that's coming down this year. That's right there. That's coming down this winter, and actually I am looking at plans right now, and probably right after Thanksgiving I'll start with at least getting the base of the chicken coop in the new location. Over here we have the old original shed, and it was here, I know, since the 2004 hurricanes, and they rebuilt it. We purchased the property in 2007. You can see a little bit on this right side up on the top, and here we've had a tree completely land on it. It boomeranged off of the side lot and took like a dart dive right here, and then laid the base of the trunk of the tree over the shed, and it's just kind of sinking with age, and so it's going bye-bye, which is why we purchased the new sheds. So really there's no reason why it's still here other than I did a lot of cleaning out of it in the spring, and then it just got too hot to remove. This is a Persian lime bush, and it was in a pot for about 3 years. And then we moved it out to the side lot when that was cleared a couple of years ago. And the first year it had to be moved like 3 times because we had to bring big equipment in to come remove the oak and remove the other, just trim trees and whatnot. And it just kept getting moved. So we decided we would put it on the back side of our house. Instead, it's a little bit more protected from weather over here. And it has done nothing but thrived. I know it's really small, and that's partially to blame because it was in a pot, but then the other part was because it got moved. But now that it's got its roots down, it's like a very happy camper, and I'm hoping for a really good turnout of blooms and fruit. I've always had like a handful, a dozen, but now I'm really hoping to have quite a few. Over here we have plumeria. It's the yellow and white. I don't know if there's a name for it. We lost a couple branches, you might have noticed, this fall just from weight, and this is what's kind of still holding up as we go into winter. And you might have noticed in my butterfly garden I have a yellow house, but we haven't painted the back side, just in case you're wondering. So you may be wondering what's going on here. We have this fantastic 14-foot high boat barn. I think it's about 33 feet long, and who knows. Anyhow, yeah, it's fantastic, and such a blessing, a gift from a neighbor who wasn't really into putting it up and didn't really change their mind about using it, and they got it as a gift from somebody they knew. And so we replaced it sort of had the frame like you would do on chain link, just the metal tubes and a tarp, and we changed it to this. And then God really did speak to us about selling our boat, and it sold to the first buyer, and we had a couple more in waiting, and the market was really hot for selling boats this year because of the pandemic. And so that was a blessing. It wasn't like we couldn't afford it or we couldn't use it, but we weren't using it. It was in perfect shape. It was my husband's dream boat, but we were just really being obedient to the Lord. And so one day in the future, we will end up finding something else to go in here. But for right now, it is really working incredibly well as a bit of a greenhouse or protectant area for my little baby seedlings and stuff. Normally this is a movable cart, you know, and it's been fantastic. I've used it multiple times like that. But for about a good 7-8 months, it's lived in here and it's done a fantastic job. So I'm actually going to probably be cleaning out this area when time allows. I want to dress up the edges and stuff. I bought these beautiful pots. I even bought dirt for the pots, so I end up using dirt in other areas. So we're just going to clean it up, make it really pretty again. Sorry, it's a little crooked. I just realized that my tripod is crooked. So anyhow, it works very well, especially in the sweltering heat. Oh my goodness, it helps to have shade, and it has really good airflow in and out of here. I just love this area. It's going to be sad when I have to actually give it back to its real purpose. As you can see over here, I have a beautiful hibiscus. It was transplanted from the front. It has not really gone anywhere. I don't think it's happy where it's at. And so I'm probably just going to rip it out when we rip out the shed over there. I don't see a point in keeping it. I'll probably, it doesn't even like blooming, nothing. I don't know. Part of me wants to keep it, but I think some of it just didn't make the transplant. And I'm actually thinking of different areas to do once this is all cleared out in front of the shed. I might put a sweet potato bed in there. I may put a couple fruit, like low fruit trees in here. I'm not really sure, but I think I just want to open up that area. And directly in front of us right now is the asparagus bed. Now the asparagus, I don't have the exact name from it, but it produces really good. It's 2 years old, and so I have eaten a little bit off of it, but I am really going to enjoy eating a lot of them in the spring because we've collected seeds. I've got seeds germinating. I have baby plants that I got from friends also that have the same variety, and it's just really fantastic. And I enjoy the little wispies. I give a lot of that to the bunny, but it's time to really make some good food out of it. And so we're going to clean up around the base here, and we're going to maybe give it a little bit better structure and mulch it really heavily, put the new babies in, and watch it take off this spring. And to the right is my jaboticaba over there, and I believe this is a Sabra variety, although it didn't say on the tag, but to the best of, or Sabra, that's the best I can figure it is. So, and of course my shed is the backdrop, and so I try to always find something pretty to put in front of it. This is the side window. A lot of times I'll video right there out of that window, and my desk is there. So I love my shed. I didn't think, when Jack proposed me getting it, I thought, no, I don't need a shed. And then we realized just how much stuff I was putting in the house, in the porches, and the garage, and how much needed that space is. I'll show you the inside later. So welcome to Jack's side of the yard. He gets this section from the road, the little roadway over, and this is his man cave, or fishing shack as we like to call it. I am not allowed to show you the inside of it, but it was wonderful. Instead of creating an addition onto the house, forgive the acorns hitting, we're just getting a big gust and they're hitting the boat barn, which is metal. But anyhow, this was really, really helpful because I was getting to where I couldn't even park in the garage. And so I said, why don't you get a boat barn or a boat fishing shack or something, and to hold all your supplies. And you know, fishermen, they come with so much gear, and they come with, you know, and he dives, and he just likes tools, and he loves Key West, and so he's kind of got his own place in there, and that's his now it's been way too hot, and but this fall he should be in there. You see he's got a little diving tank over here. He's got Panama Queen tropicals right there. In front is a climbing Alice something. I'll put the name down below. I can't remember. And then I have the bush variety on the other side of the shack. And I have the Turk's Cap hibiscus. I have the pink Eureka, which is right here. That's a pink lemon, variegated. And then I have a key lime bush, and then I have a Meyer lemon bush. And then on the far side, I'll show you that later, there's a whole bunch of beautiful tropicals there. We plan to one day put a little pathway, probably a wooden pathway in there, and that'll kind of complete his area. He gets to pick out what plants go in here, and he was actually born at Key West on Stock Island and grew up on Key West, and so getting a key lime bush in here was really huge for him. And he also wants some ginger, so I think we're going to put a lot of ginger in here and turmeric and things like that, and maybe a water feature in the upcoming years. So this is what was the salsa garden, and it's more of a cabbage patch now, and we're going to give it an official name here soon. I have all the materials. I'm making new signs for my garden. I've got to buy some extra colors, real colorful paints, and we've always loved the Key West theme. Like I said, Jack was born in the Keys, and so our chickens have Keys names for the most of the girls, and so we would like to go ahead and continue with the Keys theme back here, because you know, this is our little oasis away from the actual beach area. So not that we're too far from the beaches, but this is our little area. So let me go ahead and tell you what's in here. I have snowball cauliflower that was transplanted a week and a half ago. And then we have Godzilla broccoli. Those dogs have done their best to go in and dig up as much of the blood meal and lick it as much as they can. And that's been a little bit of a headache. So if you use blood meal, just know it's coming. Keep your pets away from it, because I thought I gave it a couple good rains, but the dogs still were all over the blood meal scent, and they destroyed a few plants in there. And I had transplants still sitting and waiting, so I put them in, but they're much smaller, so it looks like a succession planting, although they were probably all seeded at the same time, just different growth rates. Some of them matured faster than others. And then I have my celery. I don't know the variety of that. That came from Home Depot, I believe, was the only place I could find it. And then peas are going on the cattle panel trellises, and that's something I hope to get done this week. Oh my goodness, do you see the dragonfly? He caught my eye. And then we have the cabbage patch on the right side. So I have red acres, I have dead on cabbage, I have Brunswick cabbage. My new Brunswick seeds did not germinate, so I think they were just way too old. And I will just try to find a couple more Brunswick seeds somewhere of any variety. I would like a green variety, but I'll take whatever will germinate. We'll put it in here and try to round out the empty spots. I don't know if you remember, about a month ago we had a bad storm, and it dropped like a 12 to 15 foot limb in this garden, and it took out a couple of the babies on the far side. So it is what it is. I have Tabasco peppers that volunteered from last year's Tabascos, and they're doing fantastic. I have a jalapeno up here. I don't know that it'll make the winter, but I think I'm going to pick what is on it. I just watched a video recently on how to prepare and winterize your pepper, and then I will put it somewhere safe for the winter and see if, you know, bring it back out in February once frost potential is gone, and see if we can't keep that thing going. Its friend died over there in the corner. But we're on drip irrigation over here, just like we are with this irrigation was bought strictly from Haas Tools, and they were fantastic to work with. This is my she shed, and it has a lot going on right now. It hasn't been cleaned for months and months. And there's a lot of things that aren't even, like that 7 dust, I don't even use that, and refuse to use it. So that's probably going to go in the trash. I store pool cushions in here. My bunny takes about a bale of Timothy alfalfa, which is like $35 a bale here in Florida, $32 to $35 depending on the year. And so she talked me into buying a whole bale last year, and believe it or not, it's stored perfectly well in here. It didn't get any molding on it. And so I bought it this year, and I just kind of stuck it there. My husband threw his ladder in there. I don't know why, but it is. My childhood buyer's horses are in here until my grandbaby grows up and wants some, or maybe another child. But they were melting in the attic. I have a pool cover in here. We just had to have it, right? Anybody else got one like that? And then my tools all need to go back into their proper places. This ground cover is going to go in the garbage because this is the one I made a video on it, and it's just awful. I will never use this ground cover ever again, and that'll free up space for the good ground cover that I really love. Oh, by the way, do you see that? There's a Haas Tools box, and there's a goodie in it, but we'll look at that in another video. So, and my tiller needs work. Oh my goodness, and various and asunder things. My sister made me my beautiful banners, and a friend made a placard in here. She gave me scripture. So anyhow, it's my fun room, and as you can see, I use it. It's well loved, really well loved. So this is my back corner, and it's home of where the chickens are gonna go over here. And this is, we took 3 feet off of this section of the garden, and we are putting a good sized coop in here, you know, at least to hold about a dozen chickens. And that's a nice little location. It's a little higher. I might have to level it or let the chickens do it. And my kiwi's going to go along here. We're going to change the fence. I'm going to change the fencing right here. I already have most of my supplies. So I just got I was waiting to heal from that shoulder muscle pull, and I feel good this week, like I can tackle it. And this oak back here is absolutely gorgeous. It's our oak, but it kind of grows over the property lines, and so we just decided to give it its own corner. It can do what it wants, and then we'll just maintain it, hopefully the best we can from inside here. In the middle is the Persea Americana. This avocado probably came to us about a year old, and then it's been in the ground. Oh man, it's probably just had a birthday, like 2 years in the ground. So it's a good 3 years old and starting to bloom. Persea Americana, or winter Mexican. That's a type A avocado, and I tried grafting to it and was not successful. But I keep trimming it up from the bottom, and it keeps growing up. So I think we're getting there. It looked like a really flimsy trunk for the longest time, and I think we're finally seeing a more stable, real trunk. Over here you can see, this was my mystery pumpkin from last year. It was volunteered by a bird over behind my shed, and now it traveled like a good 80 to 100 feet. And it overwintered last year here, and it came back out this spring. Didn't do too much, but now it's putting on flowers. It seems to really love putting on female blooms in September and then having fruit ready by December. So it resembles much of a butternut squash, and I did pick one inside the house, but I've noticed I have found 2 more. The butterflies love it over here. Also, I have pineapples, and I did get a pineapple over this one this year. This one should definitely be going off next spring. Ooh, look, it's big in there. So I noticed the other day, I have another one of those buttercup pumpkins in here, hiding between and being protected between the pineapples. Here is its bloom. It's a beautiful buttery yellow. There's a boy. I haven't seen many girls lately. I think it's getting past its time for blooms. Well, it's windy today. And I found another one right here. This one's probably about as big as it's gonna get because it's on a dead stem. It's probably ready to pull. Yeah. So I'll pull that. And it still needs a little cleaning up in here, but we put in a jelly fig last 2-3 weeks ago. I have an acha, which, like sun, it needs a little bit better staking because now it's getting all windy left and right, and that's my bad if that's how it ends up going, but it really needs to be straight and upright. And then over here I have a sweet almond, which just can fill this area and be beautiful smelling, bring in the pollinators, and we'll probably have the chicken run through here. So real quickly, we're going to go through this area, and these are my beautiful dwarf everbearing mulberries. I got a little fruit this spring and summer, and we just cut it back with a really hard prune. It put out all new. All these green leaves you see are completely brand new, and I have fruit on it, and I'll show you a picture of that. My friend Sherry made me a beautiful garden flag with vegetables, peppers, corn, everything, and sparklies. She's so great. And then I have winter Mexican, which is Tithonia something. You guys help me out with the name. And on the far right I have a climbing oleander, which is strictly for the blooms. It is extremely fragrant and it loves put out big runners, but I did go ahead and trim all those runners off. And right behind it is my gromachami. To the right you'll see my papaya, that's Caribbean red. I just got those as tiny little babies in July, so you can see just how fast they are absolutely growing here. They love where they're at. Of course, now that my neighbor opened up his lot, now some of the sun is still off of my area, but he opened up and removed his pines the other week, and so this whole garden right here is going to get so many more hours of sunlight. So right here is my smoothie garden, or pineapple blueberry garden. It's hard to tell. The vinca that's the flower, has taken over here. My red roselle has seen its better days, and it's probably ready to pull out. I don't think they're perennial. I've heard people saying they can get them to be perennial, but it has not been my case the 2 years that I've been growing them. They seem to just fizzle out, and I wish I had taken it out sooner and just cleaned up the beds. And I got a pineapple in the center, and of course I got another strong contender. And I had a high bush blueberry in here, and as it turns out, those all died. I had 60 of them. I made a $60 investment and down the drain. Now I have what's called an emerald blueberry bush, and I've been trying to work the soil a little bit better. Of course, it's got weeds, but it does have way more mulch in there. It has way more soil acidifier in there. And if I probably need to order some pine fines, is that right? Am I saying that right? And I heard that they like that better. Of course, I've also heard that they like containers better. So that might be something I should have done, but they're in the ground, and hopefully we'll just keep improving the soil until we find what makes them tick. So, and then I have my beautiful, I hope you can see this over here. Let me move the camera because you can see it, but it's not really full. So this is my Florida cranberry, or false cranberry hibiscus, and it's just gorgeous. Now this will probably come back. I can probably trim it and make a perennial out of it. Do you see the butterflies flying around? Well, I guess they're in the back now. But and then I have right here peeking out in that green, I have beautyberry, which should not be there, but it's a beautiful area, beautiful bush for this area. I love when I look down from the house that I get this gorgeous red pop. There's not a lot of completely red things that I find love all this heat, and so it gives me that fall feeling when I can't seem to find fall in Florida. gotta save every pollinator I can. Well, welcome to my trellis garden. And it's sort of my pride and joy. It should be. It's coming along. It's been a progress. It is comprised of 5 cattle panels that are 16 feet long and bent over. And then there's a little tomato cage, that one of those 3 ways that's pulled there. And then there's number 3 and 4 and 5. So we did a lot of growing of beans, and I tried to do squash last year, and I have found that the soil's just not super good. It's very, very sandy over here. Oh, I don't like those gusts. Not safe to be under the pines. So my goal this year, when I took an overhead picture and some video with my drone, I found that it was lacking in some things. So my one thing is I wanted to feel like one complete tunnel, and it didn't feel like that the first year. So I did my best, and I'm going to walk you through it as I talk, to add beans that covered a little bit better. I also have a maypop passion fruit. On the side I have a peanut butter tree, but that's actually going to be transplanted very soon because it's already at that point where it's outgrowing the pot. So we need to do that. And I have beautyberry here. I do want to continue and keep this little walkway for going out this way or this way towards the blackberry patch. But I have some beans in here, some didn't make it. I have some bromeliads just for color and variety of texture. I added this rope since this was such a huge gap. I added this nautical rope, and we had beautiful little ladybugs that my mom gave me as a gift, but the salty air is kind of eating them all. I have added, as you can see, this is a summit muscadine, and up here I have a jumbo muscadine in here. You can see those are muscadine leaves right there, and that goes up along with, oh, there's a beautiful section right there, along with the beans and the passion flower. So that's good, and the beautyberry is going to connect these cattle panels very nicely. My beans did not come up here, and I had a little panel here, but it fell down, and I don't, perhaps Buddy ran into it, but I have found that it just becomes a tangled mess. So all that's going to just get cleaned up and moved. I have the blackberry wire over there. I have some more of the butternut squash on the ground. You can kind of see my grumachami cherry right there. I also have some poison ivy on my pine tree that needs removing. I cannot do that. I have some more pineapple here and here, and I'm going to put the peanut butter tree right here. I believe it'll be really great coming up through the center here, either right in this spot or right past it. Not sure which. I don't want to completely block the sun to this cattle panel. And right here is a green grape, like a Thompson grape. Here's some more beautyberry, that'll stay. I have beautyberry over here, that'll stay, along with my winter Mexican, which needs a severe trim. It's done with blooming. We had a wonderful season, and now it's got new babies in there. We're going to clean up this corner, keep it prepared, probably do my Seminole pumpkins again in here. And I have my really nice ruby red grapefruit, along with a Meyer lemon graft at the bottom. And then this outer section, the outer garden, my little scarecrow, I put that in there because the squirrels were eating all of my roselle, and a couple of them I pulled already. They were not doing well. This one needs pulling. This one right here, you see, they don't seem to make it past the beautiful season in October, when it looks all Christmassy, and then November, dead. And I do have some beautyberry that's already come up here and fruited. I have my beautiful purple rose. I have my miracle fruit, which is giving me fruit this year. That's great. more beautyberry, more bromeliads. But, and what is this? Wait a minute. That looks like, trying to think of what kind of vine that looks like. I'm going to have to research that. I see two of them and I'm not sure. I don't think I planted that, whatever it is. Looks a whole lot like a passion fruit, like this, doesn't it? I don't know. Right here, I wanted, when you came in, either from this gate or that gate, I was walking here, I wanted to have something that was really visual and beautiful. Now this is the butterfly pea, and it's starting to slow down in yellow, and it's dropping some leaves. It loves the heat. But these flowers are just magnificent. There's, oh, that one's kind of getting old. And you don't eat the peas, but it was just such a eye candy walking in. I just had to keep it. I put a couple pineapples up front just to give it sort of like a formal look. I have my Mexican cream guava. And I do have, let's see, over here I have a Alachua muscadine. Oh, I forgot to even mention, I have a grapevine over here too. A purple grape on the second panel. So, and then my Lady Margaret. I don't know if you can see that. She's up there blooming. You see the red blooms right there? Those are Lady Margaret passion flowers. Not so good for fruiting, but excellent for beauty and drawing in pollinators. Oh, and then I have a oyster plant, sometimes also known as a Moses cradle, right there. So that's fantastic. And we'll stop that there and reset it for the next garden. Three, two, one. So again, this is a bit of a side of the garden I don't always like to show everybody, but I will tell you that we do have plans for it. We were just waiting. If you don't live in Florida, you don't understand the heat that we face. You know, pretty much from July until about the end of September. It's impossible to hardly breathe out here, much less do garden work. And it's amazing that plants even survive it, really. And so anyhow, in our brains, I'm just going to take you on a little journey with me, and I'll share you our vision. So on the left over here is going to become a banana garden, and I'm letting the beautyberry stay here for right now, because once I get all of the metal and stuff moved out of here, and the rocks are actually going to become the lining for this area, and just kind of clean it up. I do have some bromeliads there at the end just for beauty, and a bin of them that probably just needs to go in the garbage. Anyhow, once I get it all cleaned up, and I'm probably gonna buy some beautiful bananas, get them started in here, and then at some point there'll be a whole lot less beauty berries over here. You can see the fire pit's waiting to go to the dump. This is kind of where we wait to go to the dump stuff. And over here we have, this was going to the boat barn. I don't know what Jack's going to do with it, so I just am not bothering it. Back where Buddy is, we have several, well, a handful of tropicals. We have the Panama Queen shrimp plant family, and then you can't see it, but there's a musical note there, and then a musical note over right about here. Where Buddy is being naughty is a Chrysandra. That's a big yellow one, and then I have a orange one right about there, mixed in with some weeds. But you know, they like the heat, and they're all looking a little bit wimpy and not so happy right now. So it is what it is. They seem to do great in the shade if you're looking for shade plants. And then, oh, just really quickly, here's the that yellow bush. I don't even remember. It starts alley something right there. So it's a yellow trumpet-like bush, and then a pineapple. And the pineapple had its match over here, And I believe a cute little dog dug it out. So now there's a turkey fig right there. And that's great because that has plenty of room to expand outward. I know they can get to 20-25 feet, but I think if we keep it trimmed to 10-15 feet, that'll be plenty big. And then of course there's my Eureka pink lemon variegated tree. Okay, so this is what was called the North Garden and getting a new name. And I just really worked hard in here on Friday and I think even Saturday. No, Thursday and Friday, that's when it was. And this is my blue cream berry cherry tomato, and it was back into sticks. Let me show it to you a little bit better. It was just like the stick plant. It was incredibly sad and pitiful. But the ends are starting to pick back up again, and we're starting to see beautiful blooms again and fruit. Oh, I ate the fruit this morning. That's why you don't see any. Okay, so I moved in a little closer. Buddy was barking because somebody was walking by. So these are 3 rows of Texas Legends, and then we have 3 more rows of the Southern Belle Reds. And then over here we have a Florida Sweet onion. He's still mad. And then we have Pescadero Red. Actually, I think they're in the back. And then along the side we have Salmon River garlic. So you'll see the garlics over here pretty soon. They have not broken ground yet. And then lots of acorns still. So my leeks are coming in January, so we may put the leeks right here. And then I still got to do beans, but at this point maybe it's too late for beans. Oh, in the back corner I have a Florida pepper. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So this is my gorgeous south garden, and I sowed it September 19th, and then we had so much rain and I lost a lot of seed. It went everywhere, and the only thing remaining is a little bit of lettuce, some kale, and a few radishes. So over here I had purple sprouting broccoli, and lost quite a bit of it. You can see there's only like 3 or 4 actual that survived the squirrel attack or slugs or whatever. Oh, we've been just crazy with slug issues. So I have reseeded it, and I'll show you the babies in a second. And I also reseeded the lettuce that was in here. There is one that reseeded. Here's some more purple sprouting broccoli. More and more. So it's coming along very slowly. The seeds I put in for yellow squash here did not germinate, so we got to come up with a new plan for this bed. My scallop edge squash are coming along, doing okay. I just noticed that I'm missing another one because I'm sure the bugs got it. Now the lettuce is doing fantastic, and with the reseeding I am getting some new lettuce, but not enough. I don't know where. I'm just having a hard time in here with lettuce. This is red ursa kale. It's doing fantastic. In fact, I have started picking a little bit of it. I transplanted some lacinato or dinosaur kale in there, Nero de Toscana sometimes it's called, and it's doing good. I have Calabrese broccoli that started to come in here. I have several, so as they come up I'll probably transplant them a little bit more spacing, because as you can see I dropped way too many seeds in here. And down here I have carrots. Now it's kind of early and fast, but you can see right here, right here, right here, right here, and so forth. They're just beginning to germinate, which couldn't make me happier. There's another one. So they're coming. They were just waiting for cold weather. They did not like being sown in September. So they're much happier with November. In here I have collards. I don't know that they've germinated yet. Bring you up really, really close so you can see I'm starting to get a little cilantro come through. I think that looks like a paw print. Maybe Buddy killed a couple. And so I'm going to try to resow in other places. But this is a Bright Lights Cosmo right here. I had to, again, another footprint. Buddy was quite scared of scarecrow in here, so I got rid of it. Then I put in some red onions. Now, trying to use old red onion seed is not the best. I don't know if you know this, but you can pretty much only count on onion seed being good for a year, maybe 2 under the best conditions. Like, unless you're a pro at it. But I mean, the average person, onions don't pop up when they get old seed. Here is fennel. Oh, so anyhow, that's why I don't see any onions there. But anyhow, here's some fennel. And I had more. Boy, I had a lot more just the other day. But it looks like we're having a really hard time this year with... There must be quite a bit of... I don't know what it is. I'm assuming slugs, but it could be lizards. It could be other bugs. We're just having a really hard time with bug pressure in here. And look at this. You see this? Stripped down. The caterpillars have also been very bad. Stripped my Narrow Day Toscana cal down that I spent good. I had to buy this. This was one of my originals from seed. So, and here's my more red Ursa in here. But again, look how they're getting, everything is getting stripped. I'm not happy with that. There's some French breakfast radishes. And then, of course, the mustard greens, which I don't even eat, are looking fabulous. I mean, I don't know what to do. Oh my goodness. And look, what happened to you here? So, oh, I guess my Mexican sage is leaning on it and pushing on that board. But sweet potatoes are in here. They don't love it in here. There's not enough sun for them. And the soil is quite compact. So I'm going to, oh look, that would have made into a sweet potato right there. See how it's red? So I'm going to probably pull what I can, not this week, probably not anytime soon, but my goal is to redo this entire bed and put something in it that just like breaks up the soil, maybe some perlite, maybe something, but it just holds moisture, and it actually probably rots things more than anything. Nothing likes it, not enough sun. I have to come up with a plan A, B, C, D, or E, F, Z. Last but not least, I had something that absolutely loved eating every one of my mums into little stick trees. That was not good. My cranberry hibiscus is doing good. My yellow pears, tomatoes, I'm going to remove out of here. Look at that. It's just so tall and leggy because there's very little sun. It's not saying they can't make it, but this is not the ideal conditions for them. Look, I see blooms right there. And I have some different salvia and some purple basil. Again, none of this is ideal. These boxes, I swear, they're like the kiss of death for plants. I don't know why. They're just not very good. So I have a little hay left over. We're going to put the Christmas tree up maybe this weekend. And like one of those little pumpkins, that decorative pumpkins, it fell apart and now it's made a little crown of seedlings. So, uh-oh, this is stuck in there. Come on. I took a couple seedlings with it. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't think I want that there. So, I don't think I'll transplant it either. So, I really want to thank you for joining me on this garden tour video. I know it's rather lengthy, but we got a lot going on, and I just garden on a half acre. But we use every bit of it really well, and still can stuff a whole lot more in here. We've already been talking about mango trees. So if 2021 is a lot better to us than 2020 was, I can see us having a dozen more trees on this property easily, and having our hopes and dreams, you know, kind of come to fruition as we work through the winter months. And that's always good for me to get out here and do a little hard work and sweat, and it does my joints really good. And you know, I still do the gym, but nothing like being out here in God's creation and doing some really nice work for your property. I'm really excited because I'm getting like 3 eggs a day. I don't even think that's all my layers yet. I'm still waiting on a couple more to go. And here I am. I'm already giving away a dozen, and I'll give away many more dozen over the years. So excited. And this is what I love doing, and I hope you continue watching and enjoying my journey, and commenting and liking and subscribing. So thank you for joining with us, and I would like to wish each and every one of you guys a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family and with your friends, and you know, be safe however you do it. I am not your judge, but enjoy your Thanksgiving to the best way you can. Thank you. God bless, and see you in the next one.